Join us for a review of the Audi RS6 Avant. Let's go! Here in the front we can see a menacing style. The RS6 here gets the dark front grille, high gloss black and with a honeycomb structure, also stronger lower bumper and the air intakes right here. Then the vertical element as a contrast. So Daytona Grey is the color for today. Due to stronger spoiler overhangs, the RS model's a little bit longer, 5 meters, 16'4" or 197 inches. You can all see the very strong spoilers here, both front and rear. The wheels come with 21-inch as standard for the RS6 and optional, you can see them here, 22-inch. And another option are these ceramic brakes. They of course help to keep the wheels cleaner if they're really necessary. Well, not really. I like the contrast here in the bright style. You can also get a night or dark package. Yeah, the manufacturers always name it differently, then everything would be black here, but I think it's a really cool contrast to the Daytona Grey. You already saw that the car sits lower. It comes standard with the air suspension and then it sits 20 millimeters lower actually. You can also, by the way, go for the DRC, that's a dynamic ride control. It's a fixed suspension, but then with 3 different settings you can preset. But this will of course reduce the comfort only if you really want a very, very stiff ride. As for the design here in the rear, you can see beautiful rear signature, RS6 badge. Then again, the bright contrast here in a swinging style. An interesting option here for the rear axle, a rear differential lock and also the rear axle steering together in the dynamic pack for 12,000 euros. And here, this is the 4-liter TFSI V8 biturbo, now with the mild hybrid system, 600 horsepower, 3.6 seconds to 100 kilometers an hour and 12 seconds to 200 kilometers an hour. Respectively, you know, somewhat equal figures to 60 miles an hour or 125 miles an hour. Let's check out the interior together. You can see here a beautiful job at the inside of the doors with these sporty inserts and also galvanized buttons everywhere for the window levers and so on. RS6 entry badge, aluminum pedals. Then you can see here some more of the deco elements, digital instruments, virtual cockpit. Here from the optional Bang & Olufsen sound system. Really cool, 6,000 euros extra. Ooh, yeah, that's tough. Then the steering wheel perforated and also flat bottom. These sport seats here are standard. These are the RS seats with integrated head restraint. The one with separated head restraint that are available for the normal A6 would be a little bit more comfortable. However, here they want to go for the more striking visual solution. In Europe, the inserts here would also be Alcantara. That is of course better because it keeps you cooler in summer, warm in winter, and also you don't slide on that much. Sadly, in the US, and here also the option for Europe is with animal skin full, and that's of course ignorant towards the animal lives and also the demands of the customers nowadays. Well, but Audi really lags behind as for this. And now let's get inside. Indeed, you realize that it sits lower than the usual A6, But still, you know, from the seat form, you find a decent position here. When you close the door, by the way, there's this automatic comfort feature that the seat slides forward again and the steering wheel comes down. So the standard setup for the RS6 is 12.3-inch digital instruments left or virtual cockpit, 10.1-inch main infotainment screen, and the lower one then is 8.6-inch, and they also play together, soon more to that. Quattro logo right here will be illuminated with the ambient lighting. This huge tablet right there, it does squeak from time to time when it changes the temperature, like once, not always, and then it's like okay until the temperature changes again. And then a look at the virtual cockpit right here. Looks pretty amazing. Has a special sports layout here for the RS6, and when you activate the RS1 or RS2 modes, then you can also see the changes here. For example, also that the stability control is being changed. However, we can also change something of the view here, make it differently right there, and we can also change of what we want to see. For example, also, yeah, go full screen with the map. And now details to the screens. So the menu structure is really easy to use, one of the best softwares there is, and there's also a strong processor unit behind it, so that everything you do is actually really fast. Even here in this satellite view, which you can also deactivate to make it even faster, or you know, as for the better overview, for example. But here you don't need so many different menu stuff. You can easily find almost everything. Here at car, you can, for example, then pick the Audi Drive Select. For the air suspension, it goes down then, for example, in dynamic mode, and you know, that also shows in the raise or lower. And here then the RS modes, you can pick them and also individualize them. For example, RS mode 1, then some are still balanced, and then for example RS mode 2, you can set that everything is on the sportiest setting. That probably makes most sense in this case. Then Apple CarPlay, you can see here, it's a great song, and integrated all over the screen. And this optional B&O sound system is, I mean, it's really amazing. So let's listen to that. Wow, what a rich and true sound, really cool. Also check out the sound settings here, settings and sound. Here, and my tip is surround level, max it all out, yeah. And then there's also this lower screen here for the climate control. You swipe here, for example, for the temperature. You get used to it a little bit. Here we go with the rear. By the way, at the doors here you have these manual shades available, and then also soft touch here at the inside of the doors. Nice decor element. It's a matte decor, by the way. Pretty cool. Legroom here, plenty of space available, no problem, definitely. Also with these gaps here, the recess at the back part of the seat. And yeah, I mean, decent seating position here. Headroom is also plentiful, no problem as for that. So this trunk area, 565 up to 1,680 liters. You can see here how it works with the luggage. Of course, also in a vertical way, no problem. Then this lower part here, just some small storage underneath. What's really cool is that this top cover here automatically goes down when the hatch is closed and goes up when it's open. That's a flawless solution. Then we can flip the seats also from here, 1/3 2/3 split. But let me give you some measurements right here. This is more than a meter actually in width. The normal length of the trunk here is almost 1.20 meters. Welcome to Thomas's active driving lounge with the Audi RS6, and we'll go directly to the German Autobahn, yes, and we'll put it to the RS mode. I also put the RS2 mode, so the sportiest setting that's available. It's dry road, that's why I can do that. Otherwise, you shouldn't actually, and we'll start at about 40 kilometers an hour, and let's go. That's over 200 kilometers an hour, over 125 miles an hour. Wow, impressive how smooth the car did that with the all-wheel drive, rear-wheel biased all-wheel drive. Also with this RS dynamic pack we have here, not only the rear axle steering, but also the rear sport differential. Wow, amazing. And look at that, I mean, how silent the car is here at 160 kilometers an hour. Look at that lane change now, high-speed lane change. It's like nothing for the vehicle, remains so calm, Yes, quite stiff. Okay, you know, it is stiffer from the air suspension here in that sporty version. Also the 22-inch wheels make it definitely stiffer. Yet again, still comfortable when the road is, you know, quite even. Now on the brakes, you really have to give them some push, definitely, but very good braking performance, no doubt about that. Wow, really cool. And I mean, how agile this car is. It's a really, you know, it's a full-size vehicle, and the steering input here is so precise. There's no dead zone area. It's pretty light to steer, yes, even in that sport mode. A little bit stiffer, a little bit more resistance in the sporty modes. You can also individualize that. Yet again, I mean, it's really cool. You don't need any, you know, long steering ways. So everything can be done without putting the hands off the steering wheel. And that's of course also, you know, safety relevant, definitely. So what about here in the tunnel? Let's lower the window. Yeah, I mean, since the you know, newest filters and so on, the sound has been decreased, no doubt about that. And there is this sport exhaust here in this vehicle. It's, you know, you always get a sports exhaust, yeah, but then the optional sport exhaust is also equipped with this car, and it's really not too loud. Let's go to the RS mode once again. Here we can floor it out once more. Now already starting from about 85-90 kilometers an hour. Let's go. Wow, that's 160 kilometers an hour. Interesting. Now I'll turn off the RS mode just for safety precautions. Because the rain has picked up here once more. But even though it's raining, it's remaining perfectly silent in here, and about 160 kilometers an hour. Wow. This car is sticking to the ground, definitely. The air suspension in the auto mode is more comfortable than it would be in the RS or dynamic mode, so it varies a little bit. Here at higher speeds it's already going lower, 10 millimeters lower even than it usually would be. Lane change here, so easily done. Yeah, this is definitely one of the motorway cars overall. Pretty cool. And again, when I'm doing like a high-speed lane change, how safe the car feels. Great in the handling. Very, very impressive. And now to the conclusion for today with the new Audi RS6 Avant. Well, we promised to you that we can review both the US available versions, the RS6 Avant and the A6 Allroad. We did that, so you can also check out the A6 Allroad review. We will link it in the video description and also in the pinned comment. Again, these two versions here of the Avant A6 are available also for the Northern American market. Of course, a very aggressive styling, but yet I think it's still, you know, elegant, so it really works, looks quite cool. One of the most striking estate cars out there, I think. What's your take on that? The interior with a high build quality, that's really awesome. I think for a touchscreen it's also quite well to use still. However, in the high trims, or especially also on the US market, the animal skin alternatives are missing. And especially in a sporty vehicle, we need fabric in Alcantara to make it a sportier and of course also more sustainable. The space you have inside, of course you have enough of that, can use it as a primary vehicle. And driving wise, wow, I mean, it's so agile, although it's a huge vehicle, especially when you pick that rear axle suspension, that makes it so much more agile. With the 22-inch wheels, it gets bumpy from time to time, yes. Still, there is some kind of a compromise between sportiness and comfort, even better than with the 21-inch wheels. And you should also stick with the air suspension and not go for the optional DRC, which makes it even stiffer or rougher. Overall, very striking Autobahn experience for sure. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Also tune into the competitor vehicles or the A6 Allroad. See you there.